So if there's one thing I'm good at, and that is getting organizations faster improvement results with their IT service management practices. I'm an ITIL expert and I've worked with more than 60 organizations to help them to improve and uplift their capabilities over the last 15 years. Here at Service Management Specialists, we've got a Net Promoter Score of 98%. That reflects just how happy our customers are, and that's why they keep coming back and continuing to work with us. Now, when it comes to knowledge management, there's a substantial opportunity for organizations to uplift and improve and really achieve that shift left capability. But the thing is, most organizations who want to improve knowledge management think the answer is just to create more knowledge articles. They focus on creating content, reviewing it, publishing it, and maintaining it. And in most cases, these activities are just continuing to create the chaos. In fact, we recently worked with a customer who had over 1,000 knowledge articles, but was still struggling to move the dial. Today, I'm going to share with you 6 key tips to getting your knowledge management sorted within your organization. I'm also going to share with you the mistakes that I've made and paid for in full so you can avoid them on your way to becoming a modern service management pioneer and driving operational excellence within your organization. You need to build what we call a knowledge model. And the first step to building a knowledge model is to create a vision. And the reason for that is that it clarifies the purpose and it drives motivation. You've really got 2 options in creating a vision. What we do to create a vision within Service Management Specialists, we've clarified and articulated the various maturity stages for each ITSM process. And what we would do is we'd look at the next maturity stage that you're trying to achieve, and then that becomes your vision. Now, if you're seeking funding or need to build this into an improvement or a project, or you need formal initiative, I highly recommend that you create a strategic intent. Now, the strategic intent just really clarifies the vision further, gives some background, and really builds this into a business case so you can get funding or really get the sponsorship that you need to drive knowledge management improvement. Understanding, formalizing personas and groups, and being able to get those written out either in a table or being able to articulate them is significantly important, because these are essentially your customer types who will consume the knowledge that you're going to create. Now, all knowledge consumers are not the same. For example, end users may just want knowledge to show them how to open an application or configure something, or they may want some educational kind of content that talks them through how to use something. Service desk agents as a persona or a group are quite different again. They may need things like triage scripts or questions that they want to be able to ask. Level 2 and level 3 resolver groups as them as a persona are different again. They may want access requirements, but what we're trying to do with the level 2 and level 3, because they often have a lot of knowledge but seldom do they want to share it, is that that's not scalable. So we want to be able to encourage them to start getting this down so we can shift left as well with them. So as part of number 2 in creating this knowledge model, you need to understand and formalize those persona groups and get that written down either in a table form or being able to understand and being able to articulate all those different types of personas. Okay, in a similar way in which you've defined the personas and groups, you now need to define the repositories and the customer journeys. Now, it may be part of your vision that you want to create content all in a single place, but from our experience, most organizations have knowledge spread across multiple repositories. So it's really important that you create a table or a way to be able to articulate where all the information is stored currently. So you need to map out those repositories where knowledge is located. The other part that's really important is that you need to map the journeys of where you can actually access that information. So you're actually understanding, how do you get to those repositories? What does that journey look like? So we're now starting to build the picture. We've got an understanding on who uses the information, and now we're starting to understand where is it located and how are we accessing it. Now, knowledge comes in many different formats, from short form knowledge articles to specific FAQs, long form knowledge articles for educational purposes, quick reference guides, videos, procedures. So how many types do you have? How many knowledge articles, how many content types, and what works best within your organization? And if you can answer that and start to craft that up and build that up, this will help you to focus where effort is required. Anchoring your knowledge articles to your IT services is the final part in your IT knowledge model. Now, anchoring knowledge types to IT services, if you haven't already defined an inventory of IT services, really your IT services are the services you're providing to the business in a really streamlined and easy to understand way. And being able to look at those services and then be able to think, well, what is the content and the knowledge articles that support those services is really valuable and the final part of your knowledge model. So you've been able to understand, well, who are the people that are going to consume the articles, where is it located in terms of repositories, what types of content do you have in place, and then also being able to look at your IT services and think, well, how does this content, these knowledge articles, support those IT services? So now you've got the building blocks in place for your knowledge model. Once that's defined, you need to start thinking about, well, how are we going to start changing behaviors? And the simplest example that I can give you would be, for customers' personas, the end users. When they make a call to the service desk and as you're closing that query out, if there's a knowledge article or information that's available that they don't actually need to call you, then you want to remind that customer of that. And certainly when you're closing that interaction out, you want to put a link in there to the knowledge article. And then you could take that a step further and be looking at your service desk to say, well, how many of the interactions have I had today that have been related to knowledge articles that I've already created? Okay, it gives you a percentage of knowledge. And then you can start to think about, well, how can we get this information out to those end users quicker and really start to shift left as well. Another example may be for perhaps the level 2, level 3 resolver group fulfiller persona. Well, how many content and knowledge articles have you created over the last quarter? Because that's the information we really want to start shifting left as well. And as I said before, there's often some reluctance for those level 2 and level 3 to share information. But again, we're going through some organizational change here. So it really does underpin the ability to be able to drive different outcomes. And so you really want to start thinking about, how can we change behaviors? You've got a model now, you can really start to look in on it and start to think, how can we change those behaviors? More organizational changes required. Knowledge management can really drive some significant improvements. Investing the time and really focusing on those 6 key points that I've talked you through and creating a knowledge model will give you the confidence, because you know how everything fits within the knowledge model ecosystem. If you want some more help on this topic, then feel free to book a free 30-minute strategy call with us at servicemanagementspecialist.com/call. The links and everything's provided in the description below. I hope you found some value in this, and I'll see you in the next video.